You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, earlier this morning, I did a video where it was clarified exactly what the new proposal was from the WNBA owners / I think all but two of the owners are actually NBA owners. The rest of them are NBA owners, and two independent owners. I think one of them is the Connecticut Sun, which they're trying to get an NBA owner to get involved in that team. Milwaukee, Houston. I don't know if the Celtics are trying to get in there. I don't know how that's working out right now. I do know it looks like whatever's happening, the Connecticut Sun are not staying where the Connecticut Sun are. Anyway, a proposal went out, and it sort of came out after the fact. The WNBA owners put it out there as a super max contract of $1.1 million, right? Considerable raise. When it was, in fact, an $850,000 contract with contract escalators to get it up, or bonuses, to get it up to $1.1 million. All right? All of a sudden, it didn't look so good. It wasn't a $1.1 million contract as base salary, which is really the kind of thing I think the players are looking for. Well, it didn't take long, but the union has punted that. I talked about football earlier to describe how the contracts are done. Well, they punted this contract proposal right back into outer space. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. The Women's National Basketball Players Association does not view the WNBA's latest collective bargaining agreement proposal as something that moves negotiations forward. Sources told ESPN on Thursday, 10 days before the current CBA is set to expire. By the way, I got another story after this about who the Indiana Fever might end up losing in the expansion draft. Man, I think we're all going to be okay with it. The league's proposal, first reported by the AP and confirmed by ESPN earlier this week, includes a revenue-sharing component that, in combination with base salary, would allow the players to earn a maximum of more than $1.1 million and an average of more than $460,000, and a minimum of more than $220,000. I would say those parts are much more, you can deal with that a little bit, I think, in the fairness, than you can the idea that you got to hit. I mean, it would take you hitting like 7 different bonuses to actually get your way up to, the $1.1 million. In 2025, the league's minimum salary was $66,000. Supermax was $249,000. Call it $250,000. But sources told ESPN the Players Union does not believe the league's proposal includes a system where the salary cap and players' salaries sufficiently grow with the business, a long-standing demand of the players since they opted out of the current CBA October 2024. Players do not want a fixed salary system and instead want one based more directly on revenue, such as in the NBA, where the salary cap is determined by the basketball-related income. The league previously said in a statement it proposed a significant guaranteed salary cap increases and substantial uncapped revenue sharing that enables player salaries to grow as the business grows. The union responded in a statement that said the proposal, quote, put lipstick on a pig and retread a system that isn't tied to any part of the business and intentionally undervalues the players. In the current CBA, the salary cap increased annually by a fixed 3%, coming in at $1.5 million essentially in 2025. And a separate revenue sharing provision called for direct payments to players if the league hits certain revenue targets. They got to turn a profit. which I think is fair. It's crazy that these players are okay with these owners not turning a profit. That's the wild part about all this. That component has yet to be triggered over the course of the agreement because they lost $40 million last year. We still, as of now, and I'm starting to find it very fishy, that we have not heard how the league has done for the 2025 season. Because for the 2024 season, I'm fairly confident the fact that they lost $40 million came out sometime in November, if I remember correctly. So I would assume we will find that out. I'm not sure who's going to leak it. Maybe the owners. Because the owners, if they're like, well, we still lost $12 million as a league last year, that helps the owner's cause. It does. If they show they're still losing money. Last month, the two sides agreed to a 30-day extension to November 30th. So that's where we stand. The players have already rejected it and said, nah, that's not going to work out for us. So I don't know where this goes. I just think surely cooler heads are going to prevail before we get to a lockout, because a lockout would look terrible. A lockout has a chance to kill this league. I'm just letting you know. If the Fever's roster were to remain the same from what it is right now, heading into the 2026 season, most would agree the team's top 6 players are Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Lexi Hull, Sophie Cunningham, and Natasha Howard. But there's a very small chance that the roster will remain the same. For one, every one of these players, aside from Clark and Boston, is going to be a free agent, as will almost every other WNBA veteran. This is sure to mean that many players will be changing teams, assuming that a new CBA is ratified in time for there to be a 2026 season. The expansion draft. Now, it goes on to talk about last year's expansion draft. The Fever protected Clark, Boston, Mitchell, Hall, Nalissa Smith, and one other player. Was it Dantas? Some thought that the 6th player would be Timmy Fabinlay, but that's who the Valkyries ultimately selected. By the way, that backfired. She had a great year with the Valkyries, and we missed her size. We missed her length. Okay? I mean, she could move around a lot better than Natasha. Natasha Howard couldn't move around for shit, especially towards the end of the season. She looked like she was 97 years old on a basketball court. A November 19th article from ESPN wrote that since the 2025 expansion draft will have 2 teams building rosters, it's thought that perhaps the league's other teams might only be able to protect 5 players this time. If this is accurate, then one of the aforementioned 6 players with the Fever would be forced to leave the team this winter. And let me just, I don't know why this is doing this, but it does. So they believe there's no chance the Fever are losing Clark, Boston, or Mitchell. True. And one would imagine that Hull and Cunningham would be their next players to protect. This could mean that Natasha Howard's time with the Fever has come to an end. God, we can only hope so. I mean, don't threaten me with a good time. So they think Natasha Howard's going to be the one they let go. I got to be real. And I hate to say this, it pisses me off. I got a feeling Stephanie White would rather see Sophie Cunningham leave. I don't know why. Speculation, I haven't heard shit. Me just talking out loud recklessly. I just have a feeling that her and Stephanie White don't see eye to eye. I could be wrong. They may be like best buds. But, I mean, they're obviously from different worlds. Although Sophie has shown she can get along with a lot of different kinds of people. But can Stephanie White? I don't know. Natasha Howard? Peace. See ya. I'm good with that. I ain't even got to think twice about that, frankly. I don't even have to think about none of that. I mean, we're good. Not gonna enjoy your stay with the Toronto Tempo. Have a great life. Look, she was solid at times. There was times where it looked like I said, I mean, she's literally running around wearing peanut butter shoes. I mean, just slow as molasses on a basketball court last year, and was supposed to be this offensive catalyst, was going to be able to score points. I honestly, later in the year, Natasha Howard, nah, not really involved. Not really involved. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.